Hello, I'm Jack Berkowitz. I'm happy for everybody to be here with us today. I'm the Chief Data Officer of Securiti. We're a company that specializes in data governance, data privacy, data security, and also AI governance and AI security. And this is part of our ongoing set of interviews with chief data officers from around the world. Today, really happy to introduce Deepak Jose. He's probably got the job that if I had a chance, I would have this job. But I'll let him introduce himself in just a second. Again, we're going to have a quick conversation about leadership in data and AI, and we'll see where this goes. So, Deepak, welcome to the show.
Wonderful, Jack. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah, great. So, Deepak, you're an industry expert in an area that I don't know that much about, except as a consumer, right? And so you've worked at Coca-Cola, you've worked at Mu Sigma, you're now at Mars Wrigley. Talk a little bit about, being in these sort of consumer products, but also, the best consumer products in the world, and about what it's like to work there and what it's like to be the data guy or the data person at these places.
Absolutely. Uh, I am, as Jack, you rightly mentioned, when you work for Mars, you have the luck of calling yourself a Martian. That is quite unique when you work for this company. And another fun fact is like you get to work for one of the most purpose-driven companies in the world. At Mars, we say the world we want tomorrow starts with how we do business today. So, being a purpose driven organization, being part of a principles led organization, being part of one of the largest family owned companies in the world, it gives a unique privilege to do long term initiatives for the organization. And for me, in the area of data analytics and AI for the last 5.5 years. I've joined Mars in 2019 and had the opportunity to work in several different initiatives, uh, transforming the company across all the segments, later on transforming the data and analytics practice as part of a program called One Demand Data and Analytics for the Mars Wrigley division. So very excited to be here to talk about me, and more importantly, uh, my journey across large, fantastic organizations like Coca-Cola, one of the most recognized brands in the world, Music, who works with more than 100 Fortune 500 companies. I'm really excited to share some of my learnings.
No, that's great. Thinking about data in these organizations, right? It could be anywhere. It could be, well, except for a Coca-Cola, you're probably every part of Coca-Cola except for the recipe, right? Because I've visited the vault where the recipe is.
Hmm.
But but data just permeates everywhere, right? Whether it's consumer demand data, whether it's supply chain data, whether it's operations, just efficiency and distribution, all sorts of different things. Talk to me about where people get the most traction out of using data in this, consumer world.
So, Jack, first of all, I want to talk about the evolution of the data space for large brands or consumer goods company. So, almost a decade back or before, primarily organization in the CPG world would have a large set of internal data. See, think about the shipment data, think about the finance data, the various internal data sources in supply chain, in research and development. So we had a huge set of internal data. And that time also we used to get consumer data from third-party data providers like Nielsen, IRI, Kantar, who would collect data from the consumers um, uh, to help companies like Coke, Mars, etc., to take the right kind of decision making. So huge internal data sources and huge external third-party data sources. Now, when we think about today, we have new different kinds of data sources which has emerged as well. We call it the zero party data, the first party data, and the second party data. Now, zero party data is the data which consumer is proactively willing to share with brands or large organizations. First party data, you think about the consumer purchases that happens on a website when they direct as part of our D2C businesses. That is another example. The second party data is where we partner with large companies who are our customers who would give us data. So think about Walmart or like an Amazon who would give us data like Luminate or like Fetch Rewards data, etc. So the space has evolved quite a bit. From internal and third party data, we have now an integrated strategy of zero party, first party, second party, third party, and internal data. Now, the most important thing for any large organization, which is a consumer led organization, is to build a connected data strategy. And why is it important? Now, you might have heard the story of four blind people explaining an elephant. Somebody touching the trunk of an elephant, calling it something. Somebody touching the tail of an elephant, calling it something else. Somebody touching the leg, calling it something else. And that is happening in large organization. So the sales explains the elephant in the room here is our consumer. So the sales explains the consumer a certain way. The marketing explains the same consumer a different way. The supply chain explains the same consumer a different way. So it is important to have a connected data strategy so that everybody operates on that single source of truth, which is that integrated connected data strategy. So that is going to be important for all large organizations. And I think I have had the opportunity to work on data initiatives in large CPG companies, and it is imperative that we build that single source of truth.
Yeah. And thinking about that, right? So we as an industry have been building these things for a while. Back when I was at Oracle, the whole thing was about how do we build AI applications that can incorporate zero, first, second, and third party data, right?
Hmm.
And we would incorporate these so that you get this continuous touch or this fusion, and then also all the touch points of the client. So whether or not, or the consumer, whether or not they're on a website, or maybe they're in the shop, or maybe they've got their phone in for some loyalty points, or whatever it happens to be, you get this continuous view. And that was several years ago I was doing that. That was probably in 2016, 17, 18.
Exactly.
And now today, though, right? And that was sort of conventional machine learning, right?
Yes.
Which I can't believe we say. But now we're in this world of generative AI, right?
Hmm.
Where the ability to fuse disparate information is a great promise, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But so where do you see this Gen AI meeting sort of this I don't want to call it, I don't want to disparage it as conventional machine learning because it's powerful as heck. But, where do you see these two worlds coming together? And how do you think, companies can take advantage of that over the next few years?
Yeah. So, Jack, I think I've had the opportunity to talk to several chief data officers in this space. And I think everybody has different strategy and people who believe in different schools of thought. There are a lot of CDOs who are building out a AI first strategy. There are a lot of CDOs who are building out a data first strategy. And there are CDOs who believe in a business problem first, data second, or a AI second strategy. And I fundamentally believe in the latter. I think it is imperative for us to have a business problem first or a business decision back mindset to begin with. And why? See, in the past, what I've seen is that organization who tend to call themselves as a data first company, what they would do, they would give a lot of incentive on ingesting a lot of data, building a huge data foundation. So large organization, it used to be called the data warehouse, then it
Yep.
became data lake. These days we have lake houses, so huge data foundation. Building on top of the data foundation, there'll be people would generate knowledge and insights, and those insights will turn into some actions which will create some small value. And one thing that I've learned as a practitioner is that we need to change that mindset. We need to invert that pyramid. We need to start with a value first mindset, a business problem first mindset. you understand what are your organization's largest business priorities, focus on that first. And to solve those business problems, what is the knowledge and insights you need? And to solve those insights, what is the data that you need to have? So instead of moving so it is more important to find the right business problem than solving the problem right. So in my opinion, we need to stick to the fundamentals, have a business problem for strategy, and data, AI, those are enablers to solving it. That fundamental mindset is going to be important. Now, there is a significant opportunity to leverage AI, specifically generative AI, to drive value creation for the organization. And I think I will not tell that it should be a Gen AI first strategy. It is going to be an enabler. So sometimes you might find that a traditional classical machine learning algorithm can solve a specific problem. You should go for it. Now, to do all of this work, it is imperative that you have trusted and quality data which is enabling your AI algorithms. Otherwise, it is going to be a garbage in, garbage out. So at within my experience, we always look at relevancy, trust, and usage of the data to make sure that we are building out the right tools. Otherwise, you can build a lot of fancy, cool AI tools that nobody uses, which is not driving incremental value. So, and that should not be the outcome. It should be a value first mindset.
That's awesome. All right. So why don't we dig it? We'll just stop right there because that, fundamentally, he did a better job. Deepak always does a great job explaining it. Nailed exactly the concerns of business leaders today or data officers who are business leaders. Make sure they have a great data, a great business principle in front of you, whether, what you're trying to achieve, and then make sure that the data is trustworthy, understood, managed, and then apply the right techniques as you need as you go. And so on that note, Deepak, thank you very much for joining us. I'm Jack Berkowitz. I'm the Chief Data Officer of Securiti.ai. We're a company that actually specializes in exactly that, building out trustworthy data through data governance, data privacy, importantly, data security, and also AI governance and AI security. So thank you very much, Deepak, and talk to you soon.
And thanks, Jack, for having me. It's been a real pleasure being here. And as we say at Mars, the world we want tomorrow starts with how we do business today. So tomorrow starts today. So I hope we learn from each other as we go through these discussions like these.
Great. Thank you.